my channel. This is going to hopefully be a short video because I filmed all of this upstairs in Milo's nursery and the video was out of focus. Of course it was. So I'm down in my kitchen where I usually edit my videos. I usually don't film here, but here we are. So let's get to it. Week 30 update. So I figured since things are kind of changing more frequently, I would go to weekly updates now that I am 30 weeks. I'm actually 31 weeks and 1 day pregnant today, but this will recap week 30. So in terms of cravings, my cravings have coincided with the change in diet that I've done, which I'll get to why I did that temporarily. But this week I really love strawberries and I really love peanut butter. So that seems to be my two go-tos when it comes to eating things. As far as symptoms this week, I've been really tired, but I feel like that's sort of to be expected. Third trimester. I'm having a hard time sleeping at night. Unisom seems to help with that, but I'm only taking about a half a tablet. So some nights I am getting up at like 3 a.m. and up for a couple of hours, but I am able to go back to sleep, which is good. But I figure, again, this is like just your body's way of preparing you for when baby comes. So I'm just sort of trying to get used to waking up in the middle of the night and either eating or entertaining myself for a few hours while everyone else is still asleep. The shortness of breath seems to have not been as severe. I don't know if that's sort of because I've backed off of working and doing things. Based on last week's video, I have been sort of encouraged to not be completely on bed rest, but sort of modified and taking things easy. And I have noticed that has helped with the shortness of breath. But if I do like go up the stairs too quickly, I do tend to like sort of be really out of breath for just a moment, but it is better than it was. But I also feel like that could be because he's sort of gotten into more of a vertical position rather than the last couple weeks he was sort of almost sideways. So it seems like there's more pressure below than above. So I think he's just sort of shifting down a little bit, which is also helping with that shortness of breath. He's still moving a lot, which is awesome. I love to see him move. I love to feel him move. The movements aren't as sharp, and I'm sure it's because he's like sort of running out of room. I did read that like after week 28, they start to like, you know, their space gets tighter, so they're not as sharp of movements. Like before it felt like really sharp elbows pushing out, and now it's just more of like rolls and things. So that's better. They're not quite taking my breath away when he moves, so that's good. Okay, as far as health-wise, if you remember my last video, I started to have issues with my blood pressure and glucose. So I just wanted to touch on both of those. So I was asked to do a second 3-hour glucose test, which I wasn't thrilled about doing, but I had only missed my last 3-hour glucose. 2 out of the 4 blood draws, I had missed the mark by 1 point. And she just felt like that was way too close to call it gestational diabetes or not. So she said, I really need you to come in and do another one. So Tuesday I went in and did another 3-hour glucose, and yay, I passed. So my numbers were a lot lower than they were last week, which is great. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I changed my diet. So I have been, over the last week and a half, really since the 1-hour glucose test, I have been monitoring my sugar and carb intake and sort of limiting that. My sister-in-law has diabetes type 1, and she is also pregnant, and so I sort of asked her what I should do to maybe help or limit, you know, my carbs or my sugar, or to keep my blood sugar in check. And basically she said that you really want to try to keep your carbs at under 30 grams per meal and 15 per snack. So I have been doing my very best to do that. I haven't been eating out hardly at all. And peanut butter and bread seems to be my go-to, which is The bread, not so much, but I did buy low-carb bread, which helps, and obviously the peanut butter is very low in carbs and sugar, but has a lot of protein, so that I really enjoy that. So I think basically I don't have gestational diabetes because I just don't have it, but I also feel like just to see the difference in the sugar levels between the 2-3 hour tests indicate that what I am doing is helping keep my blood sugar in check. So I do plan to sort of continue, maybe not as restrictive as I have been the last week and a half, but definitely still keeping that in check via diet. Also at my OB appointment on Tuesday, I did tell her about, she had asked about my rash that I had mentioned in my last video that was on my face, lips, and arms. And what I failed to tell her was the week prior when I was in the hospital for the day, they had encouraged me to get the Tdap vaccine, which is for whooping cough, which I did. And I got the rash the very next day. And I just didn't put 2 and 2 together until last week when the rash went away. I sort of thought, what changed those last few days after or before I got the rash? And it was the Tdap vaccine. And so I did look it up online. It does say that rash is uncommon, but it is and can be a side effect. So we both sort of agreed that that's what that was. So as of right now, I don't have PUPS rash, and my lab work came back good in terms of that cholestasis, which is the more severe of the two illnesses that can affect the baby. So right now I have no rash and no reason to believe that anything is wrong. Last week we had our growth scan. Baby looks great. He's doing well. He's moving a lot. It was really fun to watch him in the ultrasound move around. We got some really cool images of his face. And he was yawning and opening and closing his mouth, which was so cute. He is big, which we did expect. Right now he's about, or this was Thursday, I guess, he's about 4 pounds. And he was measuring 11 days ahead, which isn't a huge cause for concern given that I'm having a C-section. So we're just going to kind of take it as it is. She did mention that maybe in a couple weeks we'll do a repeat growth scan just to see, but as of right now, I don't have anything scheduled. The only other thing in terms of OB appointments is that I'm still continuing to have the fetal non-stress test twice a week. So I've been going like Mondays and Thursdays. So I did go today, which didn't turn out exactly how I had planned, but I'll continue that in my 31-week update. I'm home, so obviously it's not too severe, but my blood pressure really hasn't been that great. So they're continuing to monitor that. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, I usually do daily updates of what's going on there. I do have 2 Instagram accounts. One is the one I've mentioned before, which is KWHIT1015, and that's sort of more the Instagram account I've had forever. But I did make more of an IVF/pregnancy Instagram account where I share more related to the pregnancy than I would with just my general friends. And that is Katie, Josh, Jack, Milo. So I'd love for you guys to follow me there. Again, there's way more updates there related to the pregnancy. So check it out. That's really it in terms of week 30. Again, I hope to do my weekly updates on Tuesdays or Wednesdays every week. We'll see how that goes. So check me back out next week for week 31 update. Hope you all are doing well. Baby dust to anybody who's trying, and prayers to anybody who's going through the IVF process. I know how tough it can be, and just wanted to send my love to all of you. See ya.